It is April the 25th, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Rec Site in the St.simons Sound. Still kind of celebrating the cut through of Section 7, but we want to start with the weather yesterday. This is down at the port. You can see the dry dock sections in the background, and this is that area they cleaned out of what we think for some processing. And the weather we had yesterday, possibly a tornado, at least wind shear came through, and it ripped the fence down into the compound. Just kind of fortunate. I got to thinking, if that section had been up on the barge and at that location before they'd had a chance to sea fasten it, the potential there was there for a catastrophic event with possibly that much force, blowing over the section on the barge. So, wow, how close, some things happen. And wow. Hey, back to the shots here. We got some stills. They were lifting on the Golden Ray Section 7. We could see some pretty good separation. Really see that they're starting to get a little lift on it. Certainly not as quick as we've seen in the past, because this section is heavy. It's had, of course, it's got the main propulsion unit and all those engineering spaces with those other engines, generators, and power units and whatnot in there, and then just to add on the additional silt that's had to be accumulating in the ship. Got to be a lot of weight there. But we made it around and took a look. The weather was beautiful today. What a difference a day can make in the weather in coastal Georgia. Very pleasant day. Temperatures were warm but not hot. Breeze was blowing but not really windy. It's a nice day. But there was some activity going on when we got out there. We could see that there were some things getting moved around and some pieces getting moved into place. We knew something looked like it was getting ready to happen. We continued on around, just kind of looking at the site, and again, just really thankful to see this Section 7 separated. The crews have got to just be breathing a huge sigh of relief to have this headache of a section cut off the Golden Ray and have it hanging from the VB. This has been quite the process to get this section cut through. I think nobody anticipated the kind of problems they were going to have encountering that reinforcement in this part of the hull, and it certainly was frustrating. Right at 3 months from the initial start, if you remember, they had a break in there when they went back to the bow to cut that Section 2, but finally it's done. And we saw environmental boats out today. Typically after we see a cut in the beginning of the lift, we'll see a larger than average amount of debris in the water as the ship is separated. Some stuff falls, and we've seen some video out where vehicles were falling in the water off of some of previous sections. And this is typically when that happens, right after the cut and the lift begins. But these guys were out doing their thing, earning gold stars. Just heck of a job. They had a helicopter up today, giving the guys some air support, looking around for debris. We saw a little sheening on the water, a little bit of oil spotted in the sheen, but nothing like we've seen in the past. Good job. Now we've got some video here we're going to let run, and we've kind of sped this up. And you can see what these guys are doing. They're in the process of moving the north gate. And the north gate is, there's a south gate and a north gate. The south gate being the part off the bow section of the Golden Ray. The north gate being that section off the stern, and this is what they were in the process of moving. This has to be done in order to move the VB. To get enough room, the VB's got to kind of come out of the barrier a little bit, and that's a process. So what we did, we tried to video this for you guys and speed it up. You're going to see the 2508 crane that's over on the right-hand side or inshore side, and the Weeks 533 is on the left side. And these cranes got to be in place when this process happens, because they have to kind of lift up the mooring lines that go back to the VB from their anchoring systems that they have out. It's necessary to pick these lines up to get clearance to move the gate and to move the VB. And this is what was going on. So we wanted to share a little bit of that with you guys as this happened. They got in, they picked the lines up, and you'll see the gate start to come around. They had one of the smaller tugs grabbing that environmental barrier that makes up that gate. And the biggest difference that I have noticed on the gate part of the environmental barrier is it doesn't have that netting, that cable netting system that goes down to the seafloor that the rest of the barrier has in place. And that's it's comprised of cable, and it's been made in a way to form grids about, I don't know, maybe 5 foot across, square grids, rectangular looking grids, big enough to hold a car in, but the smaller pieces do get through that, and that's when you'll see the debris boats out and the stuff that makes it out to the beaches. It's getting through that barrier. But that's the biggest difference that we've seen in that the section that makes up the actual gate. The environmental barrier does not have that grid system of cables going down to the seafloor on it. And but they got that done and picked up. And then we thought we saw the VB move just a little bit. And here we've got some sights from that operation. Got a guy up there taking a look at it off the helicopter pad. And here you can see that system of mooring lines up on the cranes. And this is the actual section of the environmental barrier that makes up that north gate. And they were kind of pulling it around, and they pulled it alongside the Weeks 533 and secured it there. And then we can kind of get a look in here. You can see with how much the raising they've done. They've kind of leveled out that part of the cut. Here we see the engine, that big diesel engine that's in there. And we found a little bit of debris today. This looks like maybe sound insulation or insulation off of something. We scooped this up and we took it over to one of the debris boats for it to be disposed of. Hey, and this is something else we found today. Pretty honored to get this. This is a challenge coin, and it's quite an honor, very much an honor to get this. Thank you guys, really appreciate that. Well, hey, that's about all the time we've got for today. That's the report. We're going to ask if you haven't done it, hit that subscribe button, send us some comments, and most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.